Prashanti, welcome. Prashanti Nadella, recommended to me by Parambo's famous Cleona. So thank you. This is a special episode. I really want to talk. I think of it as a cultural episode, because I talk to Anglo Indians and I talk to people, even not Anglo Indians, but about things they do and affect the Anglo Indian culture, how Anglo Indian culture has affected them. But I think this is most special in a way, just like how I spoke with Mike in the previous episode, who was an Indian Christian. And culturally they are our closest cousins, but Prashanti is Hindu, and I think the Venn diagram probably shares a little smaller part than the Indian Christians. But I want to talk about culturally, right? Hindus and Anglo Indians, what was the first introduction? What were the perspectives? What were the cultural differences? Yeah, and what was that experience like growing up as a Hindu with Anglo Indian friends? Prashanti obviously knows Cleona, so we'll forgive her for that. Sorry, Cleona, we love her. But yeah, Prashanti, welcome. I'm so glad, first of all, and thankful that you're willing to do this. So welcome. Tell us who you are, where you live now, and where you grew up, and we'll take it from there.
So good morning, Conrad. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about myself and my friendships with the few Anglo Indians I grew up with in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. So I live in Texas, and I've been here for about 32 years. And since then, I still keep in touch with one of my good Anglo Indian friend, one of the Kazos. Her mom was our teacher, and then also we were there together till 7th grade, and then I moved on and did something different. Then we reconnected. I think a few years ago, maybe 2017. 2018, and then since then we've just been meeting quite often. And then through her, I met Cleo, your friend, who's been a good friend, and we talk about awesome recipes, and then she makes some awesome food. But it's very much like Indian food, so it's nothing. Nothing. I did not really feel like they were different from me. And then for some time, I also thought I was a Christian because I was hanging out so much with them growing up, trying to go to the church. And they were like, "Do you go to the church every Sunday?" I said no, so they wouldn't give me the offering. So yeah, it was, and that's that was just a little. My experience in a nutshell. But I've had a lot of Anglo Indian teachers. I know when we say we went to the convent, they think, what convent? It's like, in India, that's what they call the English medium schools, which was run by the nuns. And then we had, I think we had a Russian principal, and then we had a lot of Anglo Indian teachers. But one such teacher was Miss Gomes, who was also my dad's friend's wife, and the way they dressed was so nice, and it would influence us to wear dresses or, frocks, if you may, yeah. So that's something that I always remember. Then who else? There was another family close to where I lived. Jeffrey, I think.
Jeffrey Rigo?
Say that again?
Jeffrey Rigo?
I don't know, but he was in Visakhapatnam. His son's name is Sean. He always had.
Did he have brothers?
A lot of. He was in Visakhapatnam. That's Jeffrey something.
Okay.
I never knew their last names.
Okay.
And there was another family that came from Australia, who pretty much, we thought they were Anglo Indian, but they were actually from Australia, and they went back to Australia. But we hung out with them. The Marcy, they were like I think 3 sisters and a brother. And then my sisters and we hung out with them a lot. It's different. They were a little bit they had a little bit more freedom than we did
Yeah.
as growing up Hindus, and
Yeah.
so that was different.
Yeah. So you told me your dad's friend was an Anglo, right? Oh, Miss Gomes was your dad's friend's wife, right? So generationally, it wasn't like you were the first one. It's almost like your dad already had Anglo wasn't a new thing to you, right?
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah. Okay.
no.
Yeah. So your dad even knew what an Anglo was. Obviously, had friends, and so did you grow up when Vishakhapatnam? How far north of Tamil Nadu is that? Is that just across the border, or is it like?
It is a coastal region. It's a
Okay.
coastal region, so I would say it's like an overnight train ride at that
Okay.
in those days,
Okay.
because that's all. Yeah.
And I think that's it's a pretty big junction. So I would imagine that because
It
of the
is.
railways, the Anglo Indian population was pretty much around that, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then the Cazo's Geraldine Cazo is a good friend of mine who's the one I was talking about, through whom I met Cleo. Her dad and my dad were friends because they both worked in the railways.
Nice.
So yeah, railways, we had a lot of Anglo Indian population.
But was your dad on the railways?
Yes.
What
yes.
did he do?
He was a guard. He was a guard in the railways.
Yeah.
And then last year we lost him, so he's been gone for about a year.
I love that.
Now.
My dad was on the railways as well. So I love trains, and I always loved the guard because he got a cabin to himself at the very end of the train. You know, what a life. I would love that. Enjoy just traveling by myself on a train in the middle of nowhere. Like, I still think like the guards had the best. Engine driver too much stress, and he's got like the guard.
But he was he was not a passenger train guard, so it was a lot not the same.
Yeah.
But we had the luxury of traveling a lot on the trains to different parts of the country because we got all those passes, railway passes. So that was good.
Did you get to travel in the guard thing by yourself in the cabin at the very end?
I think a couple of times when we went to like this small hill station called Arupu.
Yeah.
Where we go past a few tunnels. It's a very nice ride, but we did go with him on that. That was good. You
are so lucky. That's my dream. I would love to do that. But that's amazing. Okay. So did you grow up in the railway colony as well, or did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Very close to the railway station. We would walk to the station to pick people up.
Yeah.
To go on a train ride. Yeah. So, and just in our immediate neighborhood, there was like 2 or 3 Anglo Indian families. But I mean, like, we didn't, there's only that Australian family that we hung out with a lot.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeffrey and his son, Sean, that's all I can, but I think everybody like moved to Australia now. So I don't even know, no connections.
Yeah.
But the others that I've kept in touch was Geraldine for sure. And then through Geraldine, I met one of our seniors. I knew of her, but I really didn't meet her, or I didn't remember her till I met her back here in Texas.
So you went to the convent school. Do you know the motivation to putting you in a convent school as opposed to any other school?
Because I think it's more to learn the language English.
Okay.
Because it's an English medium school.
Yeah.
That's what they call it in India.
Yeah.
People here would probably not understand what's an English medium because everything is English here.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
and then I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
And then when I came here in 94, they were like, "Oh, you speak English really well." I said, "Well, I grew up speaking English. I don't even read and write my own language. I mean, I'm not proud of it, but I should have learned. I speak my own language, Telugu, but I don't read and write. I know the letters, but I can't put them together."
Yeah. That's amazing. So it's not a myth that a lot of students, but obviously now the times have changed. There's so many other schools that teach in English. It's not necessarily Anglo Indian, but was that that's how it was, because as an outsider, right? Because for us, it was, we didn't even think about it. There was no like, let's go to the school for this reason. It was just, these are the schools that we go to,
Yeah.
and that's about it. We did not seek out a Tamil medium school to learn Tamil. Right, we just because so that's interesting to know that that is the motivation for a lot of kids to go to an English speaking school,
Hmm.
mostly with a lot of Anglo Indian influence and teachers, and to learn the language. So, what's the motivation to learn as a second language, or it's just nice because of the prospects of knowing English?
I guess I really don't know,
Mm,
because we were like, okay, St. Joseph's. St. Joseph's was our school.
okay.
So it was like St. Joseph's High School, and
Yeah.
they call it high school, even if it had elementary through
Yeah.
the college.
Yeah.
And so, I started off and then we had something called lower kindergarten, upper kindergarten. So we started really early,
Yeah.
and then you did
Nice.
kindergarten,
Yeah.
and then we moved on to, I stayed there till 7th grade, then went and did something called matriculation, where I skipped a year and then went back to St. Joseph College for my 11th and 12th, or intermediate.
Okay.
We just have to get the parallels together, because here it's all 10th and 12th, and
Yeah.
it's the intermediate over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing.
But yeah, I think it's just that in those days English medium was like a status quo, maybe.
Probably.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and I mean, now everything's changed. Everything is taught
Yeah.
in English, and
Yeah.
then they also have. But then I also took Sanskrit,
Oof.
which I don't know if I remember any part of that. And then I did Hindi, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And then Visakhapatnam was a multilingual city,
Yeah.
because we had like the steel plant, we had the HP or BP, I think it's called Bharat Petroleum.
Yeah.
We had the naval base, we had the military. I
Mm.
mean, we had a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
industrial
Yeah. Yeah.
industrial job sites.
Yeah. It's a
And so
huge
people,
state.
yeah, and the people came in from different parts of the country. And then I also had a good friend of mine from Kerala that I grew up with, and so I picked up the language. So I speak a little bit of Malayalam.
Nice.
I speak Malayalam. I don't say a little bit. I speak.
Oh, really?
I
Nice.
scare the nurses when I work at the hospital.
That's amazing. So you go to school, and I guess because it wasn't like home life was different, school life was different, because at home you had Anglo Indians friends and circles. It almost felt like how an Anglo Indian felt, of just living at home, going to school, and no change, as opposed to some people probably did not grow up in Anglo Indian culture and community, but they would go to the school. So it's almost like you're plugging in, plugging out of the culture.
Yeah. No,
You
I
know?
think we were very like immersed
Yeah.
together. Like truly, you really didn't, unless you really think about it, we didn't
Yeah.
know the difference. We
Yeah.
were all like, we had a lot more Anglo Indian students in the college. It's called the St. Joseph's. It's called St. Joseph's Girls High School. And right attached to that, there was a Telugu medium
Okay.
school, the girls' school as well. But it was all like in a big compound with the church, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
the assembly we used to do. I mean, it was different. It was very different than what kids these days
Yeah.
get to experience.
Yeah. And would you say, growing up as a Hindu, were you like super conservative, or was your family not as conservative?
I don't think I was conservative,
Yeah.
because I think I was the one that wore jeans. I was the one that wore frocks, and my grandmother would be like, "What are you wearing?"
Mm.
She would hide my jeans because she didn't like me wearing pants and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I think I was what's the right word for that? I was pretty
Rebellious. No.
exactly. Well, you said it. Yeah. So, but my dad was always like very supportive. He was like, I was the only one that actually had short hair growing up. And then my mom would get mad because it's like, why are you having a cut her hair? And I would just like go to my dad and say, "Hey, can I get my haircut?" And he would take me for a haircut. So, you know, because Hindus and especially India, they always want you to have
Yeah.
these long hair and
Yeah. Do you think that's just your dad being your dad and saying like whatever my girl wants, or do you think because he was more liberal because he probably had more Anglo Indian influence, or do you think that, or was he just that's how your dad was,
And I think
rebellious as well?
it could be that. And then he was the one that actually took me to an English movie. So it was my dad and me with the
Yeah.
my dad and I would be the ones that go to these English movies.
Yeah.
So like if he says, "Okay, we're gonna go to the movies," I'll be like ready and I'll like waiting for him right
Yeah.
after he comes from work or whatever, and then we would
Yeah.
go and watch movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was your dad being your dad.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So what was your diet like? The beef was still not, but you were not that liberal, right? Like,
No, we never cooked beef or pork at home,
okay,
but I don't know if my dad ate. I ate a lot of seafood growing up in
yeah,
the coastal region.
yeah,
So I just liked a lot of seafood.
yeah,
Meat was not always my but I ate. There were no restrictions
yeah,
since everybody ate. But
yeah,
coming back here, I just stopped eating meat. I still do seafood and
yeah,
fish, but yeah, no restrictions.
yeah. But your diet was mostly vegetarian with seafood, right? Is that the
No, I think he
at the
cooked.
chicken?
My dad cooked really well, and
Nice.
we loved. He loved, and then he's the one that actually introduced us to noodles, and he would actually do it the way it's supposed to be done, not just putting it in warm water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he pretty much introduced me to English movies and like, you know, um, having a short hair, and he would actually get some nice, whenever he traveled, he would get some nice dresses, especially from Bilai. I don't know why they were from Bilai, but yeah, like frocks. That's what
Yeah.
I think that we used to call them.
Yeah. That's amazing. So when you would visit your friends' houses, right, especially Anglo Indians, would you be cautious in your diet, even as a kid? Would there be like, hey, because I think that's fair. If anybody has a religious or a vegan, even like if you have a peanut allergy, right, you'll tell your friend, hey, be careful. My friend doesn't eat peanuts. Be careful. Was there any like guardrails, or was it like just go hang out?
I don't remember if I had any like meals per se, but I know for Christmas we always hung out with them for the cake,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
Yeah.
The Indian Christmas cake was
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
But to be truthful, I don't think I ever had a meal at any of my friends. We
Okay.
would just more like hang out and just go out, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But
So
even when we went out, I don't think we restricted ourselves in terms of we did eat. There were some days that we wouldn't eat, like on a Thursday or a Friday or a Saturday. But other than that, for
Yeah.
religious reasons, excuse me. Other than that, I think, we didn't. I don't think we took life as serious as
Yeah.
we should have, maybe.
Yeah.
But we were just like what, seventh grade is what,
Exactly.
12, 13,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and kids being kids,
yes.
I don't think religion, culture are like big topics for like teenagers. They're just being teenagers around the world, rebellious. Because I went to school in Madras, Saint Matthias. There were a lot of Hindu friends who would just want to taste meat. Either they were vegan at home, or they would want to taste beef or any meat. They would all like flock to the Anglo Indian friends.
Group. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like, what are you eating? Like, let me eat it, because it's different food. Yeah, like, hey, I'll give me some biryani or some curd rice. I'll flock to, like, right. That it would be, we would kind of trade. But obviously, certain foods have a religious boundaries,
Yes.
but I found that some of my friends would not eat it. They were even as a teenager, they knew the lines, but some would be like, I just want to eat, just want to try it, see
Yeah.
what it's like,
Yeah.
but that wasn't your experience with the Anglo Indians that you were not that curious or did not even think about it.
No, I don't. Like, if I were to really think back,
Yeah.
I don't remember restricting myself, and at the same time, I don't think I
Sought it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I know definitely for Christmas we would actually hang out to get some awesome the
Yeah.
cake, the Christmas cake.
Yeah.
So
So did you ever go? Early on you mentioned something about church. Did you ever go, like, visit church or go in?
yes,
Oh,
so
nice.
so like they would actually, as a class, they would take us to the church,
Yeah.
and they would let the Catholics go take the offering, and then I just stood with them thinking, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I go to church with them, so I thought I would just get it. They're like, no, we can't. They didn't offer it to me, but
Interesting.
that was way long ago.
Interesting. Okay. So that's interesting. We never thought of this, because I know if you go to a convent school or Anglo Indian or a Christian school, right, we would all have a class, catechism or whatever. The Protestants would have something else, right? And we'd also say prayers like the Our Father or whatever in assembly, right?
We did do that. Did do that. I remember that. I don't know if I remember the prayer, but all our something. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't even want to say it because I don't remember.
Oh, no. But that was a trade-off that culturally you were willing to trade for an English education. We'll say the prayer, we'll study your religion, and it's. But I think Hinduism has different views on God, and at least the Jesus. Because I've seen Hindus who have Jesus as another picture of a God. So I don't think it's like strict lines, right?
No, because in my house, my grandfather at that time, we always had this 4 feet goddess in the house, and we had a picture of the Mecca, and also we had a picture of Jesus in our puja room, or the God, in the prayer room. So we've always had it. Even in my house here, I have the Bible, the Quran, and the Gita. I just keep it in my prayer area. So I think I just grew up. And like Hinduism was something that we followed, but there was nothing that I would be against any other religion.
That's interesting. I know a lot of, like, in my school, like a lot of Hindus would have a picture of Jesus in their wallet as well. But I've never heard of the Mecca thing. That's
So
a first.
it's like a little frame with, where you can see, it's like a little picture of the Islam. No, we always had both of them in our big God room in India.
Is that a common thing, or is that kind of rare?
I don't know. I think my grandfather just had it, and we just kept it for years. Yeah. And then I just have the Bible and the Quran at home here too. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
along with the Gita.
Was that your grandfather, as in your dad's dad?
Yes.
Okay, I can see that. I can track the train of, like, of the of the liberal, not so strict kind of lineage.
And so my grandfather was also in the railways. So we ended up staying in the same railway quarter.
Oh, wow.
The housing.
Yeah.
I know they can be. I don't know if a lot of people know what a quarter means.
Yeah.
They used to call it the railway quarters, which is the housing. So between my grandfather, us and my uncle, we all lived in that same railway housing for about 100 years.
Holy
if we look at
moly.
it from the time my grandfather started living there. And they
Wow.
finally demolished those housings to redo them because literally the walls were like it was powder.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was falling down, so
Yeah.
they just had to
Yeah.
demolish and start new
Yeah.
housings in that area.
Did
Yeah.
you have did you have cousins, friends, or like who were not part of your Anglo Indian group who would visit and you would introduce them to your Anglo Indian friends?
I mean,
Was it weird? What was that interaction?
no, I don't know because like all my cousins lived in Vishakhapatnam, but they were in different areas, and so it wasn't like um there was not a lot
Yeah.
of interaction with my group.
Yeah.
So if I remember right, we had our own group. We would get in, especially Geraldine and I would always get in trouble sitting at the principal's office for doing something silly, and I still remember those days.
Okay, so you're helping me paint a picture. So in Vishakhapatnam, especially in the railway colony, if you grew up, the lines between Hindus and Anglo Indians were probably blurred compared to most parts of some parts of India where there's more strict guardrails, and like, hey, I want you to not eat at this place or not hang out so much, but it was just friends and co-workers, and it's a nice. That sounds like a beautiful place. And your dad being a
It is,
guard.
and
Yeah,
actually they've developed it a lot more, and it looks really pretty. The coastline is
yeah,
like I think they call it what City of Destiny. If you look up Vishakhapatnam, you will know how much of the Anglo influence it had.
yeah,
We have a lot of churches, and there's one area where we have a church, a temple, and a mosque on top of the hill. And it's really beautiful. Very close to the port area. We have a port,
hmm,
um, the shipyard. So we had a lot of, major industrial
yeah,
um,
yeah,
areas.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Did Anglo Indians ever feel like your perspectives, right? Did they ever feel like when you look at Anglo Indians, right? First of all, let me rephrase it. Like, we as Anglo Indians walk through life not being completely Indian. We don't think that all the time, but we kind of mostly align with ourselves, align with the Anglo part of our lives, even though it's generationally gone, right? It's washed out in the water, washed out in the blood. There's no, but we kind of hang on, not for any reasons, because I think we culturally we identify with great grandfather's lineage or whatever, so we kind of mostly identify. Is that your perspective as well, for Anglo Indians as a Hindu? Like, do you see, or back then at least, as kids, did you think like of Anglo Indians as yes, they're Indian, but they're kind of like mostly identify with the Western culture, or what was your perspective on that?
My perspective is that they had a little bit more freedom. They
Yeah,
loved music. They loved dancing. And so if I picked up any dancing skills, it's
yeah,
all from all that. And my love for English music, especially, I think growing up, um, what was that? We had Madonna, George Michael, Michael Jackson. Those were the singers that I at least followed, and listening to English music was from the friends that I've had
yeah,
of Anglo descent.
yeah.
So
Would you
descent.
play English music at home? Like,
Oh yeah. Oh
oh,
yeah.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. We used to have those tape recorders, and then you would just buy it like a little album or what, I don't know what just those music cassettes, and
Yeah.
then I would play them, and yeah, my grandmother would be like, "What are you listening to?" Yeah, she was like. And then, yeah, she was different. She was, grandmother.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think like just that I look at them as having a little bit more freedom and doing things a little differently than the locals,
yeah,
even if they are locals.
yeah,
But I think they enjoyed life a little bit more than being restricted to
Yeah.
the norms of our what do you call the local
Yeah.
traditions and
Yeah.
whatever.
And was that freedom attractive, or it was just an
Definitely,
observation? Yeah.
definitely. Me being the rebel, definitely,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because I wanted to just, dress like
yeah,
them, just wear the pants, like just
yeah,
be westernized. And
yeah. Did they have any parties in the Anglo Indian colony? And did you go?
um, not the friends from school, but from the people that I know in the area.
Yeah.
Yes. So we were really not allowed to go to parties, so you had to make excuses to go
Yeah.
to these
Yeah.
parties. So yes.
Yeah. Did your dad go with you to any of the parties, or was it
No,
just okay?
no,
Oh,
no,
like I meant like as a kid, there's a birthday party and say, "Hey, Prashanti's welcome." You bring her over,
no,
kind
I
of.
think we were like I would say, I think growing up in that era was
Yeah.
totally different. We just went
Yeah.
places. We walked. We didn't even have
Yeah.
cars or, I think I got a little Luna. I don't know if you know a
Yeah.
Luna,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like much later in life.
Yeah.
But I had a bicycle, but I didn't take the bicycle to places. But yeah, we walked, and I don't like from my railway housing to the school. It was at least a 15-20 minute walk, and we just walked through the streets and roads and went, and then and the most of my Anglo friends were closer to the school, which was on the other part, like a little away from it was still very close to the railways, the railway station, the
Yeah.
railway housing, because they did have housing. Some of them had the housing, some of them were in the private housing. So yeah. So there was one area with a lot of um, Christian population,
Yeah.
because it was close to the church and things like that.
When you think Anglo Indian, do you think it's a weird, right? I'm referring to you as a Hindu for lack of a better uh, equal term, well as I'm referring to us as Anglo Indians, which is not, which one is cultural and one is religious. You know, so when you think of Anglo Indians, you think of like Christians in general. They are all generally Christians.
I think so. I
Yeah,
think so. But I had a friend called Wendy Menon. I think her mom was an Anglo Indian and the dad was Keralite.
yeah,
So, but then, yeah, I hung out with her much later in life, maybe what, in 11th or 12th grade. But that was it. And then after that,
yeah,
we moved on.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So she was, I think her dad, Menon, yeah, I think dad was a Hindu, but he may have converted. I
yeah,
don't remember, but
yeah,
yeah, so I predominantly think Anglo Indians are Christian,
yeah,
but then with a lot of the you know, crossing over, marrying into the
yeah,
local, like the people in the area. I think they've been different, and some of them keep their Christianity, and then some, vice versa.
yeah,
They either, take up Hinduism or they take up
yeah,
Christianity. So,
yeah,
and
yeah,
some people just keep their religion, and the spouses choose to keep their religion. So
yeah,
I've seen that too. So
yeah.
yeah.
Amazing. So you've been to Anglo Indian parties as an older teenager now. You're going to Anglo Indian parties, and were you
Don't
like?
ask me the
I
details.
won't ask you the details. I won't ask you the details. Were your parents aware of this? So, or it's just a party, and you were okay. No, moving on. Um,
So as a matter of fact, that a good friend of ours is Alex Abraham. He
okay.
is from Visakhapatnam. He
Yeah.
lives in Dallas right now, but they were Christian, not definitely Anglo-Indian,
Yeah.
but because they were Christian, everybody thought they were Anglo-Indian, So,
Yeah.
yeah, they would throw some parties too.
Yeah.
So,
That's amazing. Did you ever go? I'm not ever. Did you go to Anglo Indian weddings?
Ah, you know, not that I remember, but I know I've been to a lot of Christian weddings.
Okay.
Not to Anglo. No, no, no. I don't recall going to Anglo Indian wedding, but definitely to Christian weddings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What is the strangest Anglo Indian thing you've seen? You can say it. That's weird, different, or crazy, or that stands out for whatever reason.
You know, hmm. I truly don't think I thought of anything as weird because
Yeah.
I really wanted to embrace what I was
Yeah.
experiencing and what I was seeing.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to, just be free. And then,
Yeah.
when you're growing up as um, a Telugu and a Hindu, you do have to follow some rules at the
Yeah.
house and as a part of the culture. And so I was like, no, I want to do this. I want. So I don't think I felt anything was weird.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I think I still keep up with. Oh, you know what? Actually, my Renata Pereira, I think that's her last name. She's in Australia. There's another friend of mine, and everybody has like a sister. So like Renata would be my classmate, and their sister would be my sister's classmate. So it was always like we've always had the connection, but you don't always like are not the closest. But
Yeah.
the only closest friend that I still have who's Anglo Indian is Geraldine
Okay.
Caso, who's in Boston right now.
Oh,
So
nice. Wow, what a small world, you know?
it is, it is, it is. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then yeah, and then of course now I met Cleo and their family. So
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Yeah. Texas
Through
is,
them I met a few other Anglos
yeah.
here in Houston. So
Yeah. Houston and
but
Dallas, I think,
yeah.
have a lot of
Oh yes,
Anglos.
yes, yes. I think there's one family that actually came from Dallas, one family from up north. I can't remember where they came from, but there was a little gathering last Christmas, like just before Christmas, where they do like a little fundraising event,
Yeah.
and one of their really good friend, Mr. Tony, I don't know his last name, he's in New York, but then over winter, he lives in Florida, so he has two homes. Yeah, so we met a few really nice people at that
Yeah.
little Christmas gathering here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you think Anglo Indian parenting comes with a little bit more freedom than Hindu parenting?
I think so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so.
By default, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. That's amazing. So, what's your favorite other than the Christmas sweets? What's your favorite Anglo Indian food? Other than the cake, what are the foods? Did you eat the kalkals or whatever? What was the things that you loved during Christmas time?
What's a kalka? I don't
Oh,
know if
what?
I
You
know.
don't know what a kalkal is? It's a little crunchy thing that looks made out of wheat. It's rolled on a fork. It has like stripes.
Oh,
Those
yes. Yes.
crunchy
Yes.
things.
I love those. I love those because we make them too.
Oh, what do you
And
call
it
them?
can, we call them gavvalu because
Ah,
they
really?
look like shell.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Gava means shell. And so it looks like a shell because they roll it, they make it sweet or they make it spicy.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
also the
Rose cookies. Yeah,
rose cookies.
yeah,
Yes, 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 yes.
yeah.
Oh, I love those. I love
Did
those.
now Anglo Indians make homemade wine? Did you ever drink? Was that allowed, or did you?
No,
No.
I don't think I've
Was
ever.
that your personal guardrail, or that you didn't want
No,
to?
I don't think.
You
I
were
knew
offered.
they made wine,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
now I should ask my friends. Now I can.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Maybe I think like I think if you went to an Anglo Indian house, like we would not offer, we would know who to offer. Even
Yes,
I think we
yes,
would we had our own guardrails. There are certain things that we'll offer,
yeah.
certain things we wouldn't offer if people came home.
Yeah. And also I don't know, like see, until I came here, I didn't know there were like restriction, like the age restriction and things like that because
Yes.
I'm like, okay, because I would usually sneak a drink here and there
Yeah.
from my dad's stash. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I think that's part of the freedom. As Anglo Indians, we would drink wine from a small age. We would. I remember helping my dad make wine as kids. We would make it
I
and
didn't
then we
know that.
taste it.
That's
Yeah,
something I knew that something new that I learned today.
Yeah, homemade wine is Anglo Indians are well, I wouldn't say famous for drinking, but they are.
Oh,
But making homemade wine, it's especially for Christmas, and yeah, like they'll make bottles and bottles and bottles and sell it.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, I need to ask Cleo next time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's this other thing called OT, which is not alcoholic, but it's just ginger wine. They call it ginger wine, but it's not it's not alcoholic at all.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, good to know.
yeah.
Now I
So
know what to ask Cleo when I see
exactly,
her next.
exactly. Is Cleo a good cook?
The things she made were like something that I couldn't, they're meat, so I didn't eat. But my kids tried the food, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's so good."
Yeah,
So I get, yeah,
yeah,
because she does tell me, "Oh, I made this fish something today," or "This place has really good fish curry or
yeah,
something." I'm like, "Okay, good
yeah.
for you. You know better than me."
Yeah. Well, Cleo and I grew up in the same place in Parambo, which I think is the Anglo Indian capital of the world. So she is definitely steeped in all things Anglo Indian. I don't know if she still makes wine at home, but definitely knows the recipe, I would imagine.
Yes, yes, yes,
And
definitely. Because my kids loved the food she made. I was like, okay, good for you.
and the Kalkas, Christmas is coming up. You can place your order
Yeah,
with
she
Cleo.
made actually for the Christmas gathering we had in Houston,
Yeah,
she made the rose cookies.
nice.
They made it. I
Oh,
made it
nice.
and brought it to the place. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now we used to have like in the railway colonies they would have like a whole Christmas fete, but they have Santa Claus and gifts and all that. Would you go to all of that?
I don't remember that, but we definitely had the stars.
Okay, you would put up a
And,
star. Okay, because you had the Jesus picture in your
yeah,
house.
the Christian families and the Anglo Indian
Yeah,
family would always have a star, and so, I don't know when they would place it. But yeah, they always had, all the families had these beautiful stars decorated with
yeah,
lights, and yeah,
yeah.
that
Did
was
you
something.
did you ever go? Were you ever invited to go carol singing with them, like singing carols in the middle of the night?
No,
No, no.
no,
Okay,
no.
okay. Yeah, that was fun.
Kids here may have been invited because my son was in the choir here. It's called the Fort Bend Boys Choir, and he did do a little caroling
Yeah,
one year, if I remember, at like the nursing homes and things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Amazing. So, did you pick up any Anglo Indian phrases? Did you anything stands out the way they spoke, a phrase or a certain words that they would use?
I think no, yeah, yes, yeah. That's one big thing that a lot of people going to English convents actually pick up.
Yeah,
Come on, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah was one of our biggest
yeah,
phrase. I mean, biggest, not it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the one thing that we all of us use.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know. Maybe I did because I didn't really discriminate what I picked up or not because it was just part of growing up. And
Yeah.
so, give me some words. Let me see if
Oh my God.
or phrases.
Child. We would say child instead of child. Yes, child.
What child? Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah,
What's a child? Yes, we do. Yeah, I know that. Okay. See, that's what I'm like. That was part of my conversation,
yeah,
piece. So it's like not like I picked up because it was just
yeah.
part of.
And would you ever use that at home and people will be like, "What's that? What are you saying?"
No, no, not that yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty
Blended.
quite a crossover
Yeah,
between both, like the I don't know whether I should say culture, but our living,
yeah,
that I don't know if I picked up because
yeah,
I think it was just part of the way we communicated.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah, and then what's up, child? What else? No, maybe I have them, but
yeah.
I can't pinpoint them,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Me
So
too. Put me on the spot, and I have to think of it. Well, as I have friends who'll just rattle off phrases,
yes,
um,
yes, yes.
and well, that's amazing. Well, Prashanti, thank you so much. I think we've learned quite a bit. I think your experience is a little bit unique, not unique, but isn't so separate, because you grew up in a colony where everything was blended. The lines were blurred a little bit more than what we would imagine. But still, there were guardrails. It's interesting to know that. Was there any time in your upbringing that even your dad was like, "Wait a minute, you're straying a little too far, Prashanti. Just take a step back." As far as hanging out with the Anglo Indians, you're picking up certain habits or things, not necessarily good or bad, but it was a little too Western or a little too Christian.
I think like we really were not allowed to have boyfriends, and I think that's about the line.
Okay.
Not that, I hung out with a lot of
Yeah.
guy friends, but
Yeah.
not like boyfriends.
Got it.
So
Do you think what would have been if you had to say like you wanted to marry an Anglo Indian?
oh no, because I never went that path, so I
Yeah.
really don't know. It would have been a strain
Yeah.
on the family, but it could have been, it may not have been. So, unless you were in it, you wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Would make a great Tamil movie or Telugu movie.
It would be a good one with all the experiences we've had. But
Yeah.
those were some awesome days, though. Like growing up, the age we grew up
Yeah.
is very nice. I mean, no technology. We just had a lot of just plain old fun, and then hang out. I know we hung out, and this is like something new. Well, we're gonna go hang out. I'm like, we
Yeah.
did that, but
Yeah.
we didn't call it hang out. We're just gonna go meet friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, if you think of the words and phrases that you think of, just let me know, because
Yes.
I probably have it in my
Cleona. Cleona can just talk to you like for 10 minutes straight, of just because that's how she converses with me on Facebook. And especially when another friend joins in, all the slang words will roll out of her mouth. So Cleona is your.
Yeah. I'll catch up with her soon.
If Parambo is the capital, I think Cleona is the prime minister of Parambo. But Prashanti, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your insight. I loved it.